Hello and welcome everybody to our World Ranger Day interview. My name is Emma Pereira. I am Communications Manager at Save the Rhino International, and it is wonderful to have you with us here today or any other day. Maybe you're not watching on World Ranger Day itself, but we are so pleased that you can join us. And I'm so pleased personally that you can join us for this conversation with Rianto, who I'll introduce you into in just 1 second. But before I do, just to let you know that as it is World Ranger Day, we have a wonderful, generous donor, that is matched funding all of your donations coming through today. And therefore, if you donate today towards Rangers, those donations will be doubled. And that is going to go towards all of our Ranger appeal that's been running throughout July, supporting Ranger insurance across Africa. So please do check that out. We'll leave a link in the comments below. So just to let you know about that before we begin. And then to start with Rianto. So Rianto is head of general security at Borana Conservancy in Kenya, and he has been working there for the last 14 years, starting off in the gates team and then into the fencing team, and now has worked his way up into head of general security, has done many more things in that time that I won't go into. I'll let him tell you the story. But he is an absolutely incredible person who I've been fortunate to spend some time with recently, and leads a team of 125 members of the security and rhino protection at Borana. So very, very lucky to have Rianto with us here today. He's on call 24/7. So if he runs out any moment, we know there's an issue that he's dealing with. Big welcome to you, Rianto. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. Thanks, Emma. This is Rianto Lokoran from Borana Conservancy, and thank you for giving me an opportunity. This is a rare opportunity, and thank you very much. Thank you all for having me.
You are very, very welcome. And of course, you're not only working in security, you have 3 lovely children that I'm sure are very proud of what you do. So you're a very, very busy person. So thank you for your time. I'm going to head straight in, Rianto, with a question about your normal day, because we always get asked at Save the Rhino, what is a Ranger's day like? What does it mean to be on the ground protecting rhinos? And I know you're very passionate about rhinos actually on their own, but what does a normal day for you look like at Borana?
Thank you very much. Yes, my day looks like, our operation, my role specifically is a 24/7 role. So I don't really have a specific time to start working because I'm always here 24/7. And having rhinos here, it means that we need to look after rhino on a 24/7, hour. So there is no time that we can say now I need this time for me maybe to relax or maybe do other things. But I am here to make sure that everything goes well, and all the people are doing it right, and the rhino are safe day and night. Yeah. So for me, yes, we have a big team, a big network that at time like now we have just deployed our men to go and look after the rhinos. So basically, what happened is that we have those guys that work during the day. And these are the guys that we rely to give us information of what's happening in the field. So we encourage them, anything that they come across, be it a rhino, be it an elephant, or any other wildlife, they have to give us, they have to report, and they report to, the specific location that they have found that animal. So we keep in our record so that at the end of the day, in the evening, we sit down in the office with the other commanders, and we go through the data or the rhino sightings and see where we can place our men every night. So we have those guys that work at night, and these are the anti-poaching team, these are the AMPI team. They work throughout the night until morning at around 6. Then at around 6, we pick them, we bring them to the camp, and of course the rhino monitors will be out looking for the rhinos. So you can see, it's a 24/7 operation. So that's how my day look, or the whole month looks like. And of course, we have also to get in touch with the communities, what is also happening outside. Because if the community are happy, we are also happy. If the community have problems outside, then we are also affected in one way or the other. So having our communities on board, they act as our first line of defense. So we work as a team. here in Borana and also outside our boundaries, so that we reduce the pressure from outside. And at times, when we have maybe strangers outside the community, inform us, because they have our contact, they have our office contact, they have my number, they have also other commanders' number, so we get the update of what is happening outside. So it's a big network that leads, for us to save our rhinos or to protect the rhinos. Because without having network from outside, you don't really know what will happen next. So we need to have ears outside the boundary, and we try to streamline and harmonize everything so that we also be, in a conducive environment, both wildlife and also people.
Yeah, definitely. And I know there's a lot that you do. One of the really interesting things I found when I was talking to you recently, and I was able to spend some time with you and the team, is that during the day, of course, you have your rhino monitors who go out and they are recording every rhino and other wildlife sighting, logging all of the information so that you're able to know, okay, which animal is where, how are they healthy, that maybe they're breeding, maybe you've got a new calf somewhere, which is obviously a wonderful thing. And then in the evening, you have the anti-poaching unit who work slightly differently. So they're still trying to keep an eye on every single rhino, but obviously it's dark. They're up all night. So they're kind of I think, did you say to me before, they were the nocturnal team? There's the daylight team and the nighttime team. Could you just explain a bit more about that and how those teams and the roles differ between them? Because I think often it's something that we don't quite realize.
Thank you very much. For the anti-poaching team, as you say, these are nocturnal guys or teams. Basically, what happens is that after they spend the night with the rhinos, and we bring them back here in the morning, they take a shower, and then some of us go for a run. Some might take some walks, and also some other guys might have guests to take for rhino tracking. So during the day, these guys sleep during the day, and then at night they are awake. So what happens at the end of the day, in the evening, we all sit down and we parade them outside, and we brief them of where the rhino have been seen. So we need every single ranger to know where these rhinos are for that particular day, so that at the end of the day, we all have shared the rhino information, sighting, and all sort of things pertaining rhinos. And then that's where we can also start having some opinions from the rangers, because we have also to listen to them, their views, their opinion, their suggestion, because we can't rely on one knowledge. They can't rely on my own knowledge or other commanders. So we bring our knowledge together, our ideas together, and at times they make some wise decisions than we even commanders, and we get to follow these decisions because they help us in deterring poachers, in making sure that our rhinos are safe. So at the end of the day, we now have about 4 or 5 teams. We have teams known as Romeo 1, 2, 3, up to 5. And per each team, we have 4 men. So in these 5 groups or teams, we make sure that we have deployed the teams outside to cover the whole of Borana Conservancy, so that no place is left uncovered. And then we have to have another team known as the standby team, or rather the backup team. And this is the team that is one of the responsive team in case of emergencies. In case of when we have maybe a problem of cattle rustling, maybe gunshot have been heard somewhere outside Borana, we send them to go and fight more of what's happening outside. Also, at times of maybe poaching, we can send these guys to go and apprehend the culprits. Whenever the community needs them at night, because at times we have animals getting out of the fence, and we have the communities reporting this to us, and then we send the standby team to go and bring back those animals back to the conservancy. That's not an issue anyway, because we have tried such that we don't have this conflict, human-wildlife conflict. But at times when it happens, it's quite rare. But we have these guys to go and do that work. So our guys that work at night, we have provided them with night goggles so that they can use in dark, in the dark nights. warm clothing, boots on the ground, and we appreciate the work of Save the Rhino because they support us in terms of uniform, boots, trainings, and all these tactics kind of military trainings, and we appreciate that. We are thankful for that. And these guys have also to carry what we call some coffee so that they can have some coffee at night, because they don't sleep. They just sit down, they listen, they don't make any movement, because rather if you keep some, you encourage them to make some patrols or movement, they can endanger their lives. They can bump into elephants, they can bump into lions and buffalo and rhinos, and we don't want to interfere with the animals. We don't also want to risk their life. So they just we take them to a spot where they need to spend the night in. They use these night goggles. And whenever they hear anything unusual, like it's a threat to us, then they have to report. We have a radio room, 24/7, manned 24/7. That's where we channel our communication. And if we have information that we feel is is worth sharing with other conservancies, we do the same, so that we are because poachers, you never know when which conservancy they are targeting. So we share this information across the board. And therefore, the team that will be out tonight, tomorrow they will be on standby. And the team that will be on standby tonight, tomorrow they will be out in the bush. So that's how we basically work with these, with our anti-poaching team, the guys that work at night, the nocturnal teams.
Yeah, and I saw when I was with you, I was with the team when they were getting deployed, and obviously it's not just looking out for rhinos, as you said, but it's making sure that you're aware of everything around you, and then understanding, okay, so there's a herd of elephants over here, and there might be other animals over here, and it's that general danger. It's, yes, they're an anti-poaching team, and that one of the biggest parts of their role and one of the biggest parts of their training is to make sure that we can deter poachers, but there's all sorts of natural elements to that job that you just need to be aware of, and that's what can also make it quite dangerous, which I know we've mentioned before, and it's a big part of our appeal at the moment, trying to make sure that we can support people like you, Rianto, and your team, to make sure that you have enough support for everything, and that's uniforms, that's boots, that's warm coffee. Those little things can really make a difference. But we'll come back onto that in a moment. One thing that I really remember from our conversation is how passionate you are about rhinos particularly, and that one of your favourite moments of your whole career has been when you helped bring rhinos to Borana. And I think more people should hear this story. So please, please do share this. Although we do have a unique rhino story that you and I came quite close to a white rhino fairly recently, which is fairly scary. But this one was when you first brought rhinos to Borana, I think in 2013, is that right?
Yeah, exactly. We introduced a meta population of 21 black rhinos. And we got 11 from Lewa. Lewa is just close. We share the boundary with the Lewa. And another 10 from Nakuru National Park. And that was August 2013. That's when Mike Odaya, who is the CEO of Borana Conservancy, and Sam Taylor, who was then the chief conservation officer, they decided that I should go for these rhinos. And then they give me a week before I get to be tasked to bring those rhinos, just to prepare myself physically, and all that. And then when the day came, then I was sent there. I went to Nakuru National Park, and it was a lot of field work anyway, because you need to go and look for these rhinos. You report. We have the chopper in the above, and then we have the vehicles. We have men on the ground, through the bush, going up and down the valleys and all that. And so it was really an exciting exercise for me. And that's something that I've never done, because we never had rhinos before. So it was exciting, and we had to, that these rhinos, take some blood samples, get to read the ear notches, so that we can be able to identify every single rhino that you come across, even here in Borana. That's how we get our rangers be trained on how to identify these rhinos. Every ear notch, every single rhino has got a different ear notch from the other one. So it was, a very, very exciting event for me. And we used to that these rhinos, we take, as I said, all records, the age, whether it's a female or a male or a young one and all that. We have to have all these records, and then we load them on big crates and load them on big trucks. So we could travel like 250 kilometers onto Borana here. So we started a time like this, and then at around 2 a.m. in the morning, that's when we arrive here on Borana. It's a long way, exhaustive, very exhausting journey. But it was, for me, it was something that I loved. I couldn't even get to, to think about being exhausted. Yeah. I was thinking, yeah, let's get these rhinos to Borana safely, and we are also safe, and let's get them happy here because in our environment we have enough food for them, security, everyone is, excited. We need to have these rhinos and all that because we have been waiting for long, all those years. So it took me about 1 week to get it through, but eventually, yes, here we are now. We are talking about 51 plus rhinos.
Yeah, and it's just it's amazing when you talk about that story because you can really hear the excitement in your voice, which is, yeah, it's a wonderful, clearly a wonderful memory that you have. And do you think that that was one of the most rewarding parts of your job, or have there been other times? I'm sure there are many other memories that you have, but yeah, what would you say is the most rewarding part of your work?
Okay, yeah. Before I didn't mention about how I started anyway, but I started as, I was manning a gate. And then after manning a gate for a while, then I was also moved to join the fence maintenance team, making sure that we always repair the fence whenever we have elephant breakages. And also making sure that the fence is clear, no vegetation is growing along the fence line, looking for any other unusual, something like human footprints and all that. And then after, the fence maintenance team, I was now moved to what we call predator monitoring, lions. And that's when I got excited because I never monitored lions in my lifetime. So it was another new job again or position, to take over. So just to give you on how I used to operate, I was provided with a motorbike. We call it piki piki here in Kenya. Piki piki, it's a motorbike in Swahili, and a telemetry machine. So I was trained on how to track them because you have that telemetry machine and an antenna. You connect the antenna with the telemetry machine, and then you turn on the machine, and then you start having that beep because some of the lines were collared. So you have those tracking device. So you have to move into a high ground, and so that you can receive a good signal from the lines. So the only thing you can't really tell is how far you are from the lions. But the closer you get to the lions, the louder they beep. So one day I was sent by one of the managers from Borana Lodge. Borana Lodge, you have been staying there. And I was sent to look for the lions because we had guests who like to see those lions. So at around 8, I moved, cruising all through the savannah, the landscape, going up the hills, down the valleys. And then I went to one of the hills on the western side of Borana. So when I went on top, I just pressed the antenna and then turned on the telemetry machine. And I started receiving a signal from one of the colored lines, the female. So I had the motorbike there. So I need to move toward the direction where the signal is coming from. And then I went down the hill, and then I stopped again. The beep is coming loud again. And then I reached a point whereby there was an open field. And at the background, we have some bush. So in my mind, I thought the lions were in that bush. They were tall grass by then because we have just had some heavy rains, but it's dry, but all of nice flowers, grass are green, and all that tall grass or rather long grass. So I was riding across an open field. But in my mind, I thought, okay, these lions must be in that bush because, they are shy. Sometimes they hide under the bush. But when I was halfway, all of a sudden, I bumped into a female lion. And by then we had a pride of 18 lions, 5 lionesses, 11 cubs, and 2 big males lions. So all of a sudden I stopped, and there was this female that blocked my way, like 5 yards from me. And I got into a situation whereby I was like traumatized. I mean, I didn't really believe what's happening. So the female started to walk up, and when I looked around, I could see ears of the calves and the males. I'm like in the center, in the middle. And there was one female that I just passed without seeing it, is behind me. So what happened, I was like, I lost my memory for like 3 seconds. I was imagining this is not happening. What's happening is like I'm in a dream. The dreaming, I mean. So something else came into my mind. I said, no, I can't just allow this to happen to me. I'm gonna lose my life. I'm gonna save my life. So what am I gonna do? So what I did, I just increased the volume of the telemetry machine, which was making a loud beep because the lioness was just here with the collar, and I dropped it on the ground. So you all know that the motorbike has no reverse gear. So you need to use your leg to push it back to come out of the lions, because more lions are in front. One is just behind me. I couldn't bother the one, but I could just see the curious calves approaching me. So then I just pushed the motorbike using my legs, in neutral gear. And then I went for about 5 meters, sorry. Sorry, guys, sorry, just
That's okay.
yeah, okay. So I went back, pushing the motorbike back using my legs for about maybe 5 meters, or 5 yards rather. For me, it was like 5 kilometers away from the lions, because I was just so close to the lions. And the cubs are coming, they are curious, they want to know what's happening here. What is this new that makes some noise here? So the telemetry machine, or that kind of a beam, attracted the cubs. They're playful and they are curious. And as I moved backward, the cubs were getting around, cycling around, going around like a circle around the telemetry machine, which was making that beep. And then I started my motorbike, go up the hill again that I received the first signal, went up there. I had a pair of binoculars. I sat down there, and I spent like maybe 30, 45 minutes just trying to cool myself down, calm myself down. And until at around 10, I could hear the manager calling me over the radio. Oh, Rianto, where are you? But I couldn't respond because I was really frightened. I was scared. I didn't really, I was imagining what could have happened if I couldn't make that wise decision of like dropping that telemetry machine. So it was getting warm, and I could just use my pairs of binocular to observe these lions getting back to the bush that was just behind, because it's getting warm. And that's when I started responding the manager that, okay, I got the lions, but let me just come and meet with you. What has happened? I say, okay, let me just come because I'm on the western side of Borana, but I'm coming to meet with you. Then I went down back again to collect the telemetry machine. Yeah. When I reached there, the spot, the lions have already gone into the near bush, the close by bush. Yeah. And I picked the telemetry machine, which was flat by then. The batteries went off, and I started riding back to the lodge. When I get to a point known as the windmill, where we have the windmill that pumps water to a nearby tank for the elephants, that's when I met Emory with a guest. And I explained what happened to me. And he said, oh, my, okay, oh, I understand, because whenever I call you, just like a single minute, you just respond instantly. I knew something was really not working well, not going well. And I explained, and he said, okay, Rianto, now you need to get back to the lodge and have some days off, 6 days off. And then after the 6 days are over, you just come and join us again. I said, okay, good. And I directed him to where the line. So he is quite conversant with the, the entire Borana, so he knew where the lines were. And I went back to the lodge. Sorry for taking long. And get back home from our main gate up to our home is like 25 minutes walk. So it's not far. When I get back home, I explained what happened to me to my parents. And they said, oh my, if that's Rianto, come on, okay, you are here, you are safe anyway. But if that's what we call, earning a living, we better do something else. And I said, no, Dad, man, anything can happen to you, even in the house, even in the road, even when you are walking. So lucky I am. And said, no, better you do something else. I said, no, ma'am, I need your blessing because I'm passionate about wildlife. We need to protect our wildlife for present and future generation. It's our heritage, Kenyan heritage, the world heritage. So we need to, if no people like me, then we couldn't have these lions and wildlife surviving. So we need dedicated people, passionate people. Okay. So after the 6 days are over, I came back again, and then I was now being multitask. I was monitoring lions, and then I joined the guiding team again. So because I had a story to tell them, So whenever I have this story to tell the guests, they are always, when they get back to their home, they explain the same to their families, and then I have some requests from guests coming back to Borana. Where's Rianto? Where's the lion man? Yes, so that's one of the exciting, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think that is an incredible story, but it's quite
Yeah.
scary to listen to. It does highlight, just as we were a moment ago, it does highlight that you come across these things in daily. This is your everyday work. You're surrounded by wild animals, by wild landscapes. You're in weather that it could turn from hot to cold, rainy, thunder, all of that stuff, and it's not an easy job because you're dealing with that every single day, and the potential of it. Well, so as you say, you needed that time to just collect yourself, deep breaths, and then go back and say what had happened and explain. And that's not easy to deal with if you're dealing with that every single day, which is just testament to the way that you work, and I'm sure everyone else in your team, because I know that most rangers will have come across that sort of situation before, which is just quite unthinkable for many of us that don't live in areas with wildlife that's quite as dangerous as that. So yeah, wow. I mean, what do your family think of your job now? Obviously, then it sounds like did you have your children then? Or you didn't have them then?
Sorry?
Did you have your children at that point, or you didn't have the children then?
Okay, by
Your
then
girls?
I had one child,
Right.
Anne.
Yeah.
She was little tiny, child by then. But I used to tell them these stories, what happens,
Mm.
and I have really got a chance to bring them here, show them lions, show them rhinos, because now we have rhinos, giraffes, elephants, explaining every single bit of information for them. And for them, it's like they're happy about, because when they get back home at the end of the day, they start drawing like the young one, Sharon and Rita. They start drawing the giraffes, start drawing the rhino, and even me being chased by a lion. So they make fun of it. So it's not something that is like scared. No, they love it. And also now what Borana is doing is that we are just building an education center here on Borana. And maybe next week, we might have the first group of kids from school. We take them around, and I will also be privileged to accompany them to explain a few things here and there. Of course, we have other education officers, and we will team up together, take them around, show them around. And that's another new development, a new progress for us here on Borana. We are also introducing what we call Earth Ranger, whereby now we'll be having a kind of all information will be, reflected on the screen. What is happening in the fields. We have digital radios, and these digital radios use the satellite, and we could be able now to see what's happening in the field, and that will help us to actually be able to supervise our guys on the ground, because we can be able now to see the area that have been covered, the area that have been not been covered, and we can really tell them, okay, now guys, you have to move from this place. You have been covering for a long time here. Now you need to move to this other side, just to make sure that we have covered the whole of Borana. So we are now getting to that, and maybe in the next 2-3 weeks, we'll be through and everything will be operating. And that's another notch ahead.
Yeah, and I know that those projects are something that you and others at Borana have been working on for quite a while, and it's really exciting to see them actually sort of coming forwards, and especially the education centre. I know that you can't wait to see that open and to see the trips of school children and people from outside Borana coming in to see it. But what do you hope for the future? So beyond those launches of the smaller projects, what would you love to see in the next 10 years, 20 years? I know we spoke about this before.
Okay, in the next 5, 10 years, 20 or so years, we'll be having a big family of rhino conservationists, because through the education center, now we are giving birth to new conservationists, future conservationists, and that's why we have that education center, and they have all the information that will help them in the future in becoming rangers, good commanders, good wildlife managers, good conservationists, and that will really help us. It will be a backup for us. We are now trying to prepare a backup for us in the future. So the future for the rhino is so bright because of what we are now implementing, what we are now putting in place for future. So we always have a backup for that.
That's good to know that there's more Riantos in the world to save rhinos in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's come back a little bit to some of the Four Rangers initiatives. So the appeal that we're running at the moment, it's through Save the Rhino, and it's with our partner Four Rangers, which is a campaign that I know you know a lot about, Rianto. And they funded a few things at Borana and across the African continent, actually. But one of those you mentioned earlier, that you go to the gym or that you go for a run, and I know that Four Rangers was able to provide a gym and new equipment for you and the team. So how does that equipment, not just the fitness equipment, but the day-to-day, the boots, the uniforms, the extra training, how does that help you and others in the team? What does that make a difference? How does that make a difference? Sorry.
Oh wow, that has really helped us tremendously, because now we are even fitter than before. They make us fit. You can even walk for long distances without being tired or exhausted. You can be able to carry big loads, or maybe if something happens to your colleague in the field, you can be able even to carry that guy or that friend or that member of the team to where he or she might need some help, or maybe to a first aid site and all that. So that has really helped us to be fit, and it has really helped us to improve our health, because we have a lot of things that we do at the gym. We have weightlifting, push-ups. It's a variety of things, different kind of things that really helps every part of the body. So we are fit. You have been here, and we are very we appreciate that, and we urge you to continue with the same spirit. We are very happy about your support, and it's good to know that we appreciate that, and it's helping, it's working. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's great to hear you say that. I know that I guess one thing that we spoke about before was how much that improves the team spirit and the morale in the team. When you have equipment that's not broken or run down, and you have effective things that you can actually use every day, and as you say, the gym is one part of that I think it'd be very easy for us here to overlook it, because there's different ways that you can work out, or there might be somewhere that people go back in the UK, but having that time together as a team, I imagine, is quite important to you, because otherwise it's just work. And I remember you have a football pitch that you used to play football on quite a lot, and I'm sure that that's a lot of fun and just brings people together in a way that's a bit more lighthearted than you're patrolling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also that has really attracted even our guests to join us, to join the Rangers. We do it 2 times a week. On tomorrow it's on Thursday, so we're having a gym session tomorrow, Tuesday and Thursdays. Yeah, and it has attracted some of the guests from the lodges. They join us, and it has also created what we call social interaction with the different people. It's one of the centers that will say the build-ups, that cohesion from between different people from different backgrounds, and also that has also built a spirit of people feel like we are all in the same level. No one is left behind. We are being trained the same. We live the same weight. So we are all in the same level. So no one is like, okay, me, I'm weak here. I can't be able to do this. You can be able to do because others are also doing. So it's build that spirit of like working hard together, coming together, trying to encourage each other. And we have built that. That's how it brought us, from the word scratch, from the scratch up to this level that we are now. So it's a good thing, and we really appreciate that.
Definitely, it's lovely to hear you say that, because I know that you're at Borana for a long time. I think is it 4 to 6 weeks you're there, and then you have some time to go back home and see family, and it's a long time to be with all of the same people that you're working and you're living with the entire time you're there, without visiting your loved ones, your children, your parents, your partners, all of those things, and you have to enjoy being with those people, but also to get the most out of your work, which, as we've already covered, isn't an easy job. It's nighttime for a lot of people. It's tough. You're walking a long distance with a heavy rucksack, and dangerous. And those things make a real difference. So I'm glad that you feel the same way, and that's why we're here talking about this on World Ranger Day. So I'm very pleased to hear you say that, and I'm sure everyone else watching will be as well. I just wanted to finish up, I guess, with any other things really that you wanted to say, given that it's World Ranger Day, or given that we're Save the Rhino, and I know that you're passionate about rhinos. Finishing up with a word from you, I guess, about what you want to say.
What I would like to say, I'm very much happy and glad that to realize that we have other people who are really behind us, supporting us as far as Rhino is concerned. And thanks to I would like to acknowledge the Save the Rhinos International, because they have really helped us where we are weak. Then you guys, you are strong, and you make us strong where we are weak. And in terms of providing uniform, boots, training is the key, because we need to be trained so that we can be able now to tackle cases of poaching, cope with poaching, and coming with ideas so that we can apply in the field, so that our rhino, we will not lose our rhinos into those enemies. And I would really like to let you know that you should continue the same spirit. You should continue to support us, because we feel encouraged. We even add more, effort, because we know, okay, we have people who are, who are concerned, who are, spending their time thinking about rangers, thinking about conservation, thinking about rhinos, the future of rangers and the future of rhinos, the future of even the families of the rangers. So I would like you to, to know that we appreciate that, and we also recognize you as our heroes.
Well, that's good to know. I think for many people, Rianto, myself included, that you are our heroes out there for doing everything that you can every day, and we'll try and support you as much as possible. So yeah, thank you very, very much for your time today and for everything that you do. And thank you to the rest of the team as well. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Emma. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much, everybody, for watching this video interview with Rianto. It has been informative, funny, sometimes a bit worrying at times listening to his stories, but I'm sure that you enjoyed it as much as I did. As I said before, it is World Ranger Day. Our focus for this whole month of July has been to raise money for rangers like Rianto that are working tirelessly to protect rhinos and other endangered wildlife. And whilst, Rianto is incredible at his job and he is doing everything he can to protect rhinos, it is a dangerous situation to be in, to put yourself in. It's not easy at all. It's very tough. And some of the stories that he shared just show how tough it is with wildlife around you and other issues as well. So please, if you can, donate to support rangers today. Any donations made today on the 31st of July 2022 will be match funded by a very generous donor of ours. So please help us support Rianto and people like him. And I will leave you there. But happy World Range Day to everyone. Thank you very much to all of the rangers out there that are doing everything they can. And we will see you very soon. Bye.